Um, First of all, hi. In this video, I want to talk about, well, 4 things that I have thought of lately, and maybe I will incorporate another 5th one, but I'm not sure yet if I want to talk about it. To clarify, English is my first language, so hence I'm not even sure if I should film this video in that language, but I will try. Starting off, well, this introduction. So those 4 things I have thought of yesterday. Just a random thought that popped off that got into my head. The first thing being the density of liquids. I was at work and I was portioning sauce into different canisters, different boxes. I'm not sure what you call that. And I was just thinking, how come some liquids can be heavier than the other ones, even though they're a liter each? Yeah. And if that can even be possible. So that's what I have thought about yesterday. And I did not look up if my assumptions were right, so I'm just living my delusional life, thinking I have finally got the density of destiny, the density of liquids understood. The second thing that I want to talk about is a thought that I got during my ride back home. So I was thinking about myself faking reactions, behavior, and my persona. I have written it down here, so that's why I'm looking down. So the best that I can explain it, I feel like, is often we don't realize what we do in certain moments. So we just live for the now and don't overthink anything that we do. But for me, obviously, we all live like that most of our days. But sometimes I'm just cut from reality, and I just suddenly realize what I'm actually doing with who I am, who I'm with, and what I'm doing, what I'm saying. And then I start overthinking, and my brain just starts acting weird and feels like it has to pretend to do it and continue laughing, even though that would be fake. That wouldn't be me. I wouldn't have reacted that way. It's really hard to explain it, so I hope it's somewhat understandable. And I have also experienced an extreme of that. I wasn't popular in high school, so I did not have friends. Like, literally, I had none. And so I was like, sometimes I was with that friend group, sometimes I was with her, sometimes with her. And I always felt like they did not want me there, and they just pitied me. So when one of the girls finally got distanced herself from that friend group, I was hanging with her, and my mindset was rather be with her than alone. And along our friendship, I just forgot that I did not even want to befriend her in the first place. And with that, I'm not trying to say that I did not enjoy anything about our friendship, because it's even hard to call it a friendship anymore. I mean, we are not friends anymore. I broke it off because I realized that it wasn't doing any good to me mentally, we hung around each other for, how long was it? 6 years? Well, 6 years we were in the same class together, and then three of those, I was hanging with her friend group and with her alone as well for 2 years maybe. And of course there were moments that I liked. We laughed, we cried. We did not cry, I think. And there were many beautiful moments with her as well. And I mean, she's still part of me because she shaped me as a person and is part of who I am today. So I am grateful for our friendship, and I think it should have happened. It should have had happened the way it did. So, or I realized that I did fake the friendship. It was like one-sided maybe. I don't know her thoughts and feelings on our friendship. So, and remember this, maybe I'm not communicating it the right way and maybe it sounds too extreme than it really was.
Genau, wie ich merke, dass ich manchmal einfach so Sachen schauspiele. So mäßig, ich mache irgendwas, ich bin in einer Situation mit jemand anderem und wir machen irgendwas, wir lachen, keine Ahnung. Und das sind ja so Momente, wo man so einfach Spaß hat und man lebt im Moment und man denkt nicht drüber nach, ja, was jetzt, was war davor, was kommt, was war davor, sondern, keine Ahnung. Und dann plötzlich kommt der Punkt, wo ich realisiere, was ich gerade mache. So, und dann denkt mein Gehirn mit jedem Schritt, den ich mache, mit, was ich mache. Und dann bin ich nicht mehr ich selbst. Weil dann denke ich darüber nach, was ich mache. Und dann ist es unangenehm für mich, manche Sachen zu machen. Deswegen schauspieler ich das. Und also mäßig nicht, dass es ausfällt. In solchen Momenten. Und danach tue ich eigentlich bereuen, dass ich das geschauspielert habe. Ich weiß nicht. Dass ich so gehandelt habe, wie ich gehandelt habe, weil das irgendwie für mich nicht echt drüber kam. Und ich verstehe nicht, warum ich das so mache. So, ich tue einfach faken, wer ich bin in manchen Momenten. Wo ich es auch gar nicht eigentlich nötig habe, zu faken, wer ich bin. Auch so, wenn ich mit dir bin oder so. Manchmal ist es halt so und ich bin so, hä, das war jetzt komisch. Vor allem, das kommt immer so unterbewusst, aber dann so im nächsten Moment weiß ich, dass ich das eigentlich nicht gemeint habe und es eigentlich nur von meinem Gehirn geschauspielert war. Da habe ich auch darüber nachgedacht, wie wieder über dieses mich selbst verstellen, obwohl ich es nicht brauche. Auch in meinem Zimmer oder immer wenn ich irgendwas poste, mittlerweile jetzt auch schon auf meinem Privataccount. Eigentlich habe ich den gemacht, um mich nicht zu verstecken zu müssen und egal was dort drauf machen kann. Leute, egal wer, selbst wenn es nur 8 sind, das sehen können oder wirklich nur für mich, dass immer wenn ich irgendwas hochladen will oder so, ich darüber nachdenke, wie werden es diese Leute auffassen? Weil ich habe dort so Leute drauf, die mich eigentlich sehr inspirieren und sehr kreativ sind und ich eigentlich bewundere, also eigentlich richtig sehr bewundere. Und deswegen will ich nicht, dass die Leute sie nicht enttäuschen von wegen die Idee, die sie von mir haben, über das, was sie auf meinem Instagram aufgreifen. Und mit jedem einzelnen Post will ich sie nicht enttäuschen. Diese Beschreibung von mir selbst, wie sie mich wahrnehmen, wie ich mich darstelle. Wie sie dachten, dass ich bin und dann mit diesem Post doch nicht bin. Ich hoffe, du verstehst das gerade. Und ich bemerke das auch, wenn ich so mein Zimmer umstelle oder so. Dann denke ich immer danach, wenn diese Person in mein Zimmer reinkommt, zeige ich wirklich, wer ich bin. Was werden sie denken, wenn sie das sehen?
So, the third thing that I have thought about was at lunch yesterday. Someone commented it was 3 p.m. and then a chain of thoughts came along the lines of, wow, it's 3 p.m. That's so late. And mind you, we usually eat between 12 and 2 p.m. So it was late for our matters. And then I was thinking, who even decided when lunchtime is going to be? when you eat dinner, when you eat breakfast. I mean, of course, it's always different, but a different time signals like a different set time. I'm not sure if that made sense. Then I was thinking about the Middle Ages, and they probably also had those set times to eat, or at least that's how I imagine it to be when I think about back into the past, into the history, and in the Stone Age as well. Like I think they had like the same routine as we do now with food. I know that it's not true, at least for Stone Age, because I read a book about it. And if you really think about it, that also wouldn't make sense because you don't find meat once a day, every day. That's that. And the fourth, the last but not least thing that I thought of is my materialism and my consumption, especially with books and clothes. So I realized how much I actually own that I don't actually need, or I did need but don't need anymore, but I still keep, because what if I need it again, or just to have it. Sometimes you buy things just to have it, because just to feel that feeling of owning something. And I find myself buying books that I have already read a copy of that I borrowed, even though I would not necessarily read it a second time. Also, if it's a book that I didn't really like, I would still buy it even though I have borrowed it and read it already and wouldn't pick it up again. For me, it's like, maybe I want to read it again and I don't want to depend on the other person, but most of the time it's just that I want to have it because I read it. It's a symbol of my accomplishment when I see that book that I have read in my bookshelf. So I have thought about donating and selling some of my books because I don't need all of them. Some of them I don't even remember what they are about, and I should reread them or just give them away, or at least read up a summary just to kind of know, because there was a time that I have just read for the sake of reading. You know, one of my friends reads a lot, and that's just her hobby, and she enjoys it. She truly enjoys it. I was trying to be someone that I'm not, and I was just reading to increase the number of books I've read in the year, even though I didn't necessarily pay attention to what it was saying. And that was bad of me, and I'm trying to lose this bad habit. It's not a bad habit. It's not a habit. It's bad. But I'm trying not to do that anymore. And clothes. My consumption with clothes, it's literally the same. I sometimes buy things that I don't even really like, but think maybe I will like it in the future. And that makes no sense why I have bought it then if I don't even like it. Or if I don't know how to style it, or if it's just not my style anymore, but I still keep it in case, what if I will like it in the future? So I also organized my closet yesterday because of that. And that was really needed to do. It weren't many things that I gave away in the end, but it was still a small step that was necessary. And I think that's it for this video.